Welcome everybody again. This is the Service Learning Institute K-12 Remote Service Learning Program Orientation. We hope you're here for all the right reasons, and those right reasons would be that you're interested in learning more about this program and how to participate as you're service learning this semester. As I mentioned, my name is Seth Pollack. I am the director of the Service Learning Institute and the faculty teaching one upper division service learning class. I will now like to introduce other Service Learning Institute colleagues who are on the call and who have a connection to the K-12 program. So if you would go ahead and introduce yourself and let the folks on the call know the programs you're working with and the schools you're working with. So Renee, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. My name is Rene Casas. I am the Community Partnerships and Evaluation Specialist for the Service Learning Institute. I'm also the coordinator for Monterey Peninsula Unified School District and Salinas City Elementary School District. So if you have any questions regarding those two school districts, I am the point of contact for CSUMB. Yeah, I'll hand it over to, let me see, Clarissa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Clarissa Morello. I'm the Service Learning Student Leader for Montebella Elementary. It's a school in Olisol School District in Salinas. And yeah, if you want to be placed in Montebella, I'll be able to provide my email later in the presentation. But yeah, you can always reach out to me for questions or for help being placed in Montebella. And I'll go ahead and pass it to Dulce.
Hi everyone, my name is Dulce and I am the Service Learning Student Leader partnered with Tisay Middle School that's in the Monterey Peninsula. We are serving 6th through 8th graders, so if that's something you're interested in, I can also provide my information in a little bit, so hopefully you are. And I'll pass it to Sadie.
Hi everybody, my name is Sadie. I'm the square for, or the student leader for El Sosal. It's a middle school. They have like 1,100 students, 7th and 8th graders, with opportunities during the school day and after school. So if you're interested in that, I can also put my email in the chat later. Yeah, nice to meet everybody.
And that is everybody. So welcome. We are recording this, so for those who aren't here, you'll be able to listen soon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start going through our PowerPoint orientation. Feel free to ask questions. And Renee, if you wouldn't mind monitoring the chat, that will allow us to get through. Thank you. So, you know, service learning schools have been a big part of our program forever, really. Every semester we have about 500 students who work in K-12 schools. And it's a great opportunity to get connected to future teacher programs. We have the Maestros pathway now, which is directly focused on that. This whole idea of growing your own teachers, it's been a real motivation for our districts to partner with us. They love having students come in and work with them. Although we know this isn't, you're not student teachers. So the question is, you know, what really happens over 30 hours of service? Can it really be impactful? A couple of years ago, we reached out to our K-12 teacher site supervisors and we asked them that question. And overwhelmingly, they shared with us how important your contributions are, how meaningful it is, that you really have an impact on their students, and that absolutely it's worth the hassle. So even though you're just there for a moment, it can be a real meaningful moment. So for example, you'll see some of the quotes from our teachers tell us how connected the students feel to you. She treated my students as if they were her own, gave them a positive role model to look up to, and help them to the high standards, which is awesome. So this relationship is really key, right? That you're able to really be in the lives of these young people and that you're able to bring inspiration and enthusiasm to the classroom. And again, the experience that you are able to do can individualize the learning and the small group learning. Now, this was all when we were still face-to-face in classrooms, right? So the challenge is, how do we do that now remotely? And how do we make sure that the intimacy, the power, the impact can really happen in the remote environment where we're doing this? So that's really what this program is trying to do. There's 3 ways that we've developed the relationship with our school colleagues. You can do one of these 3 things, or you can do all 3 of these things. You can work directly with teachers in supporting and developing materials, instructional materials, whether they're hyperdocs or videos or lesson plans, or pulling together resources for them, or games, or helping them do that prep work is really valuable. You can also work in the classroom directly under their supervision, monitoring breakout rooms, having individual one-on-one kinds of contact with students, and small group chats, really helping individualize the learning. And the third option is to work directly with students after class. And in that context, and I'll talk about that coming up, for safety and security and reasons, you really need to be in a tutor team. So there needs to be 2 CSUMB students when you're working after school directly, independently with a K-12 youth. And you'll see that this is the responses that came to us, some of them from last semester, that there were still wonderful things happening. I'll go ahead and read that first one, that the extra support with small group instruction was fantastic. It allowed me to have smaller groups and the students to get different learning experiences in small groups. It was tricky to work out logistics at first. Of course, we're all learning, but with communication, flexibility, trial and error, we've been successful. I'm sad to be parting ways with the current CSUMB students. So really, there was a positive impact. And Vanessa Vasquez is fabulous, clearly. And if any of you are a Vanessa Vasquez, you've really made a hit. She was reliable. She showed up every day, ready to go. Students loved her. She was perfect. So way to go, Vanessa. But it wasn't all so wonderful. And I really want to emphasize that part of this commitment you're making is that you are making a commitment and people are counting on you. So you see the inconsistency was a problem where the service learning student would sign up, but wouldn't necessarily show up. There'd be a gap when they just disappeared. And that really matters because the teachers are counting on you. You have a real role to play, and that's important. So I really want to encourage you to take these responsibilities seriously. As we developed this program, we thought it would be simple to get our students to support K-12 learning. It wasn't so simple. And the big reason behind that was safety and security. When we're serving in person, you're there at the school site, you're working with a teacher. What you do is visible to everybody. There's a sense that you're able to work under the supervision of a teacher. So you don't need to have a background check. You don't need to have mandated reporter training. You don't need to have gone through a live scan clearance. That all changes when we work remotely because there's a sense that you're not working directly under the supervision of a teacher. So the districts absolutely require that you have completed a safe and secure remote tutor training, that you've completed a mandated reporter training, that you have a live scan background check, etc. So that's part of this training to help you understand those processes and to get you to be able to get through those processes without much delay. The other key piece of this is this idea of tutor teams, that if you're working after school, which is a real need for K-12, as you know, many of the schools only are remotely in session in the morning, and then the afternoon is independent work. And that independent work time, that our teacher colleagues are really looking for students to work with their kids during that time. And that's where we would absolutely need some need you to be working as a tutor team. As I mentioned, you'll be doing the safe and secure remote tutor training. And I just wanted to highlight the importance of, again, working with youth under 18, that there's some pretty significant concerns that our district partners have. And that is why you really need to go through this training and make sure that you understand things like the rule of 3, which says that we should never be one-on-one with a student independent of a teacher or independent of other students present. So again, when you're working with youth, you should never be in a situation where there's just one adult and one youth alone together, even remotely. So that's just to keep that in mind as you develop your service project for this semester and as you work with our partner districts. So as I mentioned, we have 10 partner school districts. You'll see them here. Each one of these districts has at least one, if not two, CSUMB field coordinators. And those are the people who will be working with you to help you get connected to the site, get through the live scan, get a supervising teacher assignment, and then you're good to go. So what I'd like to do now is just give you a sense of the steps. All of this is online on our website as well. It's linked under the SLI website under the student information page. So you'll find all this there, but these are the 7 steps that you need to go through in order to be successful in this service learning remote K-12 process. And you'll see the first 2 steps have hard deadlines. And those deadlines are for real. That the first thing you're going to have to do is to register for this program. And you do that by clicking on that link, and that will take you to a Google form, which you'll then complete, and that will get you registered into the Canvas course. And you must do that by next Friday, the 12th of February. If you're not registered for the program by next Friday, if you're not enrolled in the Canvas course by next Friday, we will not be able to enroll you, and you will not be able to complete your K-12 service learning assignment. You'll have to work with a different service provider, whether it's a youth organization or any of the other partners that we have. But by next Friday, the end of the 3rd week of the semester, is the last time that you can actually register for the program. So you'll see if you click on that, it takes you to this really simple registration form, name, course number, and then it asks you, did you participate last semester? And the reason we ask that is because if you participated last semester, then you do not have to do the training again this semester. Okay. The second, once you've registered, you actually complete the online remote service learning pre-service training program. It should take you about 5 hours. 4 of those hours are related to the mandated reporter training, which is a state of California certificate that's given by the Department of Social Services. So that's a requirement that helps you understand your responsibilities on safeguarding students in the context of child sexual abuse and domestic abuse. In addition, when you're done with that, you'll then complete a second form, which will then give you a chance to tell us the kind of placement you would like. If you have a specific site that you want to go to, if there's a specific teacher you want to work with, a specific school, you'll let us know that. And that will come to us at the end of the 4th week. So here's the second deadline. By Sunday, February 21st, you need to be out of the Canvas course. So you need to get in, do your 5 hours of training, and get out by Sunday, February 21st. And if you're not out, we can't place you. This really came about from last semester. We struggled with students, many of whom just came in too late and kind of disappeared, because as you see, there's still 4 more steps to go, right, in the process. So I just want you to know that these first steps are really key. So here's the rest of the process. Step 1, as I mentioned, you'll register for the program, and we'll then enlist you in this K-12 remote tutoring program. You'll finish that, and you must do that by the 3rd week. Once you're done with your 5-hour pre-service training, you'll fill out the school placement request form, and that needs to happen by the end of the 4th week, the 21st of February. It's only after that we'll then get your request for placement. We'll look at that and we'll assign you to a district. Now, each district has different processes for live scan. So once you've been assigned, you'll hear from the field coordinator. And here's a list of the field coordinators. You'll hear from the field coordinator, who will tell you exactly what you need to do to get through the live scan process, go to an orientation, and get prepared to then be assigned to a school site. So the next step, step 3, really is this piece of completing your live scan. Now, some of the districts will pay for that. Some of them will reimburse you. And if your district does not pay for it and will not reimburse you, then the Service Learning Institute will. CSUMB will cover those costs for you. And there's a process where you'll then submit your receipts, and it takes about 3 weeks for us to then process that and get it back to you. After you've submitted your live scan and been cleared, once you've been cleared, you will then get a placement site. You will get a supervising teacher, you'll get a time slot, and you'll be invited to reach out to that teacher to begin to prepare and get a sense for their expectations for the semester. It's only after that, after you've been given a site where you've met your teacher and you know your assignment, you know your days and your times, and whether you're working independently on a tutor team or during their school time, or whether you're just developing lesson plans or resources for their teaching. It's only after you've met with your teacher that you will then register your site on MySLP, and that will ask you then to clarify your teacher, your supervisor, and your actual service responsibilities. You'll then have the rest of the semester to complete 20 hours minimum. The 5 hours that you put into the training counts as part of your 25-hour requirement. If your class only requires 25 hours, then you'll need to do 20 additional hours. If your class requires 30 hours, then you'll have to do 25 additional hours. Just want to emphasize, again, you're there as a role model. You're there as a spark of hope in what is a really challenging time for many. So please be on time and be prepared. Show up with energy in your heart and be ready to really contribute and make a difference. Finally, towards the end of the semester, you'll be asked to complete an evaluation of the experience, and your supervisor will be asked to evaluate you. That all happens online. So when you're reaching to the end of your service commitment, there'll be an opportunity to send your supervising teacher a link to an evaluation, which they will then complete. All of that happens through MySLP online. I'm going to stop sharing now and take a couple of questions before we then share a couple of videos of some of the opportunities that exist. So are there any questions about the process or the opportunities or the requirements?
You have a one question on the chat. If we go through the 5-hour Canvas training, but do not get placed for whatever reason, like placement is full, will those 5 hours still apply to our hours, or do we need to be placed for them to apply?
That's a great question. Matthew, I hope that
Yes.
everyone who's gone through the Canvas course will get placed. So that should not be a problem. We have had 0 experiences where students have completed the Canvas course and did not get a placement. So there's plenty of opportunities there, and you'll get placed. And if you don't get placed in a K-12 school, for whatever reason you decide to change and go to work with a youth organization, those hours are still relevant because this is the same context. The information is still important.
Yes.
So why don't I go ahead and just give a couple examples of some of the opportunities. Let me first introduce you to Spreckles School District. Spreckles is a small K-8 district. It's south of Salinas, southeast of Salinas. And Linda Mendoza is our coordinator there, and she's gonna say hello.
Hi, I'm Linda Mendoza, ELL resource teacher at Spreckles Unified School District. I work with English language learners, grades TK through 8, and I'm here to ask for your help in our distance learning endeavor for the school year 2020 to 2021. You have the unique and special skills of understanding the technology that we teachers haven't had to use before. So it'd be cool to go shoulder to shoulder and learn with you and from you as we advance the process of equity for online learning. So I want to first say thank you for your hearts of service. And if you have the following skills, we've got opportunities for you. 1, if you speak a language other than English, including American Sign Language, and you have some computer background, we could totally use that too. So second language learners are welcome. We are looking for people to work with social emotional learning situations, and we need you to work in the classroom, in small groups. We need you to plan with teachers, and we need you to work with our students when they are asynchronous at home or after school with the YMCA.
Okay. That is Linda. And Lily Vang is our service learning student leader there, and she's the field coordinator, and she'll tell you a little bit from her perspective
Seth?
about Spreckles. Yes?
Before we play this video, Benjamin asked a really good question.
Okay.
And he asked, does a live scan last for a year, or does it need to be renewed every term?
It absolutely lasts more than a year. So if you've gotten your live scan, it's with a specific district. That's really important. Live scans are only relevant for this one employer. So if you got a live scan with Salinas City School District, it's still good this semester. But if you got a live scan with Salinas City School District, it is not able to work with Salinas High School District or Spreckles or Monterey, etc.
So if you have, let's say that you work at the Boys and Girls Club and you went through a live scan with them in the process, and now you're trying to be placed at a school and they request a live scan, you can't use the same live scan that you use for one organization for another one. So
okay.
you'll have to do it with the particular school district. So yeah.
Okay.
Benjamin, who did you get live scan with?
Actually, it was that exact one, Boys and Girls Club.
I used to work for the Boys and Girls Club, so I use that as an example. But yes, every time that you do a live scan for a certain organization that want to get hired, they have their own code that they get their information sent to. So
okay.
So Benjamin, see if you can't reach out to the Boys and Girls Club and let them know that you've got a live scan and you've got some hours of service to do and you're ready to make that happen, and see what they say. We've not partnered with them this year because of for a variety of COVID related issues. They had lots of other things going on. But you know, if you reach out to them and say you're live scanned and ready to go, magic could happen.
Is it the Boys and Girls Club here locally or?
The Salinas.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, reach out to them, see if they have an opportunity for you to do a service with them remotely. Yeah.
So I'm fine with doing K-12 though. I think
All right.
I think I might rather do that in this case.
Nice.
So
That's great.
but
You're in the right place.
that's good to
You're
know.
definitely in the right place, Benjamin.
good thing that answers the question. So
There's another question. If we change our minds while in the stages of training, like deciding to take another SL opportunity, do we need to contact anyone for discontinuing? That's a great question. Thank you so much. And what a pleasure it would be if you said, you know what, I'm out of here. I've decided to not do K-12. If you're in the Canvas course and you decide for whatever reason to switch, please let us know and we'll take you off the list. Otherwise, you're going to get bombarded with emails from us saying, you better finish soon. So that would be very helpful. Should we hear from Lily?
Yeah.
Hello everyone, in this short video, I would like to introduce you all to Sprickles Elementary School from the Sprickles Union School District, which is located in Monterey County. My name is Lily Vang and I am the Service Learning Student Leader for Sprickles. I serve as the liaison between service learning students and the schools and the Sprickles Union School District, particularly Sprickles Elementary School. If you have any questions regarding service at this site, you can reach me at my email lvang@csumb.edu. Going into the spring 2021 semester, the Service Learning Institute is continuing its remote service learning program as we are still distance learning, and the same goes for Sprickles Elementary School. This means that no service learners will be expected to be physically present at the school in order to conduct service. All service will be conducted through online platforms with Sprickles. Last semester was the first semester that the CSUMB SLI partnered with the Sprickles Union School District, and we saw amazing results on both sides. Now in the second half of the year, Sprickles Elementary School is ready for this spring semester's service learners to join them. Both students and teachers are excited for what's to come as service learners prepare to work with them. At Sprickles, you can expect to conduct service in 3 ways. The first is by hosting online tutoring/support sessions with elementary students during after-class hours with a tutoring partner. The second involves classroom preparation with and for teachers for Zoom class sessions. And the last is a scenario in which you'll engage students and aid the teacher during Zoom class sessions. Whether it be only one of these ways, 2, or all 3, your service is much appreciated. If you choose Sprickles as your service site, before you begin your service, you will need to attend a scheduled orientation in which more detailed information about the process will be provided. And you will need to submit LiveScan documents to the HR representative at Sprickles by the end of February. Sprickles Union School District will be offering reimbursements for the cost of these LiveScans for students as well. If you have any further questions about anything, you can email me at lvang@csumb.edu. Thank you.
Thanks, Lily. All right. Let's go to the International School of Monterey. They have K-8 opportunities. They have very many teachers excited to meet with you. Here's Miss Peters. Let's see what she has to say.
Hello, I'm Miss Peters and I work at the International School of Monterey for 2nd grade. I'm very thankful to be able to work with CSUMB service learners, and the way I will hopefully be able to utilize you is by having you take out small groups for language arts or math games. And yeah, very excited to be working with you. So can't wait.
We can't wait either. So we have almost every teacher there is wanting to have service learners. So the International School of Monterey is up and running and ready to go. Oops, let's go to Alisal School District and let's hear from principal at Barden.
Hello, CSUMB service learning students. My name is Martin Gutierrez, and I am the proud principal of Barden Elementary School with the Alisal Union School District. We serve TK all the way to 6th grade. We are nested on the east side of of Salinas, right across the street from the Hartnell Extension Building. Our community is composed of awesome students that are eager to learn and are always open for the extra assistance and support. We have about 27 teachers here, and we also have the special day classrooms for general academics from kinder all the way to 6th grade. So we are always opening our doors for extra support. You might have heard of Mr. Ben Cogswell, our awesome kinder rocket teacher. He's been on the news a couple times, recipient of the Crystal Apple Award, as well as featured in the New York Times twice already. He is on staff with us. We have a lot of great opportunities. If you're interested in learning about technology in the classroom, I think Barden is the place for you because we do have a lot of trainings that happen all of the time, and we're constantly growing and learning together. So hope there's several of you interested in working with our community.
That's awesome. And we have Clarissa. Clarissa, should I go ahead and play the PowerPoint and then you can talk afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay. Another school in Alisal on the east side in Salinas is Montebella, and Clarissa Murillo is with us.
Hello, this is a quick informative video about Montebella Elementary, which is a school in Alisal School District in Salinas. My name is Clarissa Murillo, and I'm the Service Learning Student Leader for Montebella Elementary. My email is clmurillo@csumb.edu if you have any more questions or looking for any additional information. Montebella Elementary is located at 1300 Tuscany Boulevard in Salinas, and here are a few photos from the school. So some brief information about Montebella is that the school is K through 6. It is around 800 students that are mostly Latinx and bilingual students. Montebella has implemented remote learning since August, and the school has been using Google Classroom for remote classes. Before you begin your service hours, you'll receive an Alisal School District email. Using this email is the recommended way to enter the Google Classroom. As a service learner, you could be tutoring groups of students with a tutor partner in class. Montebella also has an after-school program to tutor groups of students remotely. Also, there are several dual immersion classes at Montebella, which is great placement for any Spanish-speaking service learners. And finally, let's discuss some of the requirements to work at Montebella. Your service learning paperwork must be completed before your first day of service. Once you have been placed, you must register your placement with MySLP. Once again, you can always email me for any support or questions. I hope this brief introduction to Montebella Elementary was informative, and I wish you all the best for spring 2021. Thank you.
Woohoo! Clarissa, go ahead. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I do want to add, talking about the live scan, we're still getting more information, but most likely Alisal might be covering the cost for live scan again because they did last semester, but we're still waiting on, I think Alma's still waiting on the district to hear from that specifically. But yeah, we're really open to a lot of classes. I was talking to the principal, and thankfully we're going to have a lot more service learning students than last semester. And yeah, especially any bilingual students. We have a lot of dual immersion classes, a lot of Spanish speaking students that really work well with the small groups and like the breakout rooms. So it's a great opportunity for any students who are bilingual.
Great. Thanks. Dulce, would you like to share about Seaside Middle School?
Yes, I have like my video presentation, so, but I'll just make this one quick.
Do you want to present? Do you want to show? I'll stop sharing and you can go for it.
Do you want me to present my slideshow?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Do the whole thing because you're like the technology whiz.
Okay, can I get, okay, I can access.
You should.
Yes.
It's dramatic music.
Give me 2 seconds. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Yes, I'm just gonna assume yes. Okay, so really quickly, I apologize about the lighting. I don't have a desk chair, so we're working what we can for now. So hi everyone, my name is Dulce Montano, and I am the Service Learning Student Leader that's partnered with Seaside Middle School. So a little bit about Seaside Middle School. So we are part of the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District. We serve grades 6 through 8. We are a project-based learning and new tech network school. Pretty much what that means is that we provide a lot of technology for our students. When we're in person, they all have their computers. And like you'll see in the pictures, we really try to incorporate that. But because it is virtual, obviously they all do need it now too also. And our motto is Together We Rise. So like I just mentioned, we do incorporate a lot of technology just because we believe it does provide a lot of informative and a lot of good exposure to our 6th to 8th graders that are going to be going into high school. So in regards to the hours that we have at CPOW Middle School, we do have a synchronous and asynchronous hours. So synchronous is Monday through Friday, 8 to 11:50 a.m. And then asynchronous is Monday through Friday, 11:50 to usually 3 o'clock. We sometimes go to 4 also just because students do need support and sometimes like parents would like to be there also. Location wise, we are about 10 minutes from the campus at CSUMB, but right now that doesn't really affect the opportunity to serve with us. So some of the courses that are intertwined with CSUMB Middle School as majors is English, Humanities, Mathematics, Science, Physical Ed, Special Education, and Arts. So a lot of the students that we get from CSUMB major-wise, we get a lot of HCOM students, math majors, we get a lot of like CART students and then we do a lot of kinesiology also because they try to incorporate like the health portion of it. So that if that's any of your majors, you're more than welcome to come. And then service opportunities with us this semester, same as last semester, we are doing pair tutoring with our students during the asynchronous portion, and we are going by the rule of 3. So we do partner you with another CSUMB student to provide services for our students. And then we do offer the synchronous classroom support. And for this section, we work with both our teachers and our students in that time that they are in their virtual classrooms. This is an option that was really popular last semester, and a lot of our teachers really appreciated it. And then we are also doing AVID/career readiness. So if you have ever been an AVID or you're interested in providing college prep before going into high school, this is a really awesome opportunity. Last semester, as we know, was our first semester doing this. And because of the process, it did take a little bit longer, but all of our students were able to successfully complete their hours and even do more. So I'm really grateful for that. And our teachers really appreciated it, as well as our students. And then kind of like Seth mentioned, requirements, you have to do the pre-service remote tutor training. So you do I think it's 5 hours of the trainings, and then you do your background check through MPUSD. And then you do a one-on-one with me just so we can kind of get on the same page with your hours, with the teacher you're being partnered with. And then we also do check-ins throughout the semester because we do understand that this is new to everybody. And part of my job is to make sure that everyone feels supported. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and contact me. My email is dmontano@csumb.edu. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Fantastic.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord, everyone. Let's all stand this morning. Yeah, let's give him a praise offering. Hallelujah. Enter his courts with praise. Amen. God, I don't know about you, but I want to magnify.
Whose music is that?
Huh? Something about when we begin to worship and praise God. We start to gain his.
Looks like yours.
Is that me?
On our own
Yeah.
We don't even realize, but when you begin to worship and praise the Lord and shout his name,
Oh.
and sing unto him and glorify his name, you just feel that strength. Amen.
Amen.
Loving it.
Dulce, that wasn't your music?
No, my music was earlier. I got a little scared because I was listening to my worship music. I was like, wait, is this a new playlist? I'm glad it's not mine.
Oh, God. Dulce is my technology maestro, but obviously I was not up to speed on that one.
Peter Nelson wrote, "A miracle."
Hallelujah. Let me go back. I just want to, let's see, there's a couple of more presentations I'd like to share, if I can find it. Deani West has two sites, and she'll tell you about them. One is in Monterey Peninsula Unified School District. It's Olson Elementary. They have an Olson Otter Reading Buddies program, which we've developed last semester, which is very exciting. And she also is working with Washington Union School District.
My name is Deani West, and I'm a service learning student leader for CSUMB. Today I will be talking to you about two sites available to service learners this semester. If you are interested in any of these sites, please contact me at dywest@csumb.edu. So the first site is Olson Elementary School in Monterey. Olson is looking for service learners to participate in their Olson Otter Reading Buddies program. Service learners will read with Olson students grade 1 to 5 after school. These reading sessions will be 30 minutes each, twice a week, and there will be 2 CSUMB students working with 1 Olson student. You will stay with the same students throughout the semester, and we're hoping you can become a mentor to your students in this virtual learning environment. The reading sessions will take place Monday, Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. and/or 2 to 3, Tuesdays and Thursdays at the same times, or Wednesdays and Fridays at the same times. If these specific times do not work for you, but you would still like to participate in the program, please send me an email and I'd be happy to try and work something out for you. So there are some requirements before you can start your service with Olson Elementary School. You have to complete the K-12 remote SL tutoring program where you will become a mandated reporter. You have to attend an MPUSD orientation, get a live scan done, which will be paid for by the school district, and you'll have an orientation with me and a short reading training where you will learn how to best serve these students. The next opportunity for service learners is Washington Union School District. There are 2 classes that are looking for service learners. The first one is a 7th grade math class where you will work with the students on weekday mornings and we will offer online support during breakout rooms. Next is a 3rd grade class where on weekdays from 11:30 to 2:30 or any time in between, you will work with the students on reading fluency assessments. So the requirements before starting at Washington Union are also the K-12 remote SL tutoring program, a live scan, which you can be reimbursed for with CSUMB, and a meeting with site supervisor and the assigned teacher. If you have any questions or comments or you would like to work with any of these service sites, please email me at dywest@csumb.edu. Thank you for your time.
Great. Renee, would you like to share anything about Salinas City Elementary?
Yeah, so hello everyone. Salinas City Elementary School District right now has 2 schools that we're working with. We're working with El Gavilan Elementary School, and we're also working with Baranda Meadows. Last semester, Baranda Meadows worked with, I believe, 14 students. And a lot of the students served both after school and during school, looking at having the same amount of students serve at Salinas City Elementary School District. And El Gavilan, which is also at Salinas City Elementary School District, work with about 7 of our students. So possibility of, it's also in Salinas. Both of the schools are in the east side of Salinas. And currently working with MPUSD, as you've heard from some of our student leaders, that are placed at some of the schools at MPUSD. We also are trying to work intentionally with 4 to 5 schools this semester to ensure that we have the right, not only teachers, but the right steps and process to have these schools and students placed successfully. So if you have any questions regarding Salinas City or Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, please reach out to me and we'll go ahead and get you placed.
So that's just, thanks, Renee. Those are just a few of the ideas. I just wanted to highlight that we will be having this semester again workshops in appreciative tutoring. Those are offered by the Cooperative Learning Center on campus. Sorry about that. Let's go back. Go back. Come on, go back. There we go. Thank you. They'll be offered by the Cooperative Learning Center, and if you haven't had any experience tutoring and you want to be a little bit more thoughtful and planful about your work with the K-12, those are two great opportunities, and we'll be publicizing those more. There's also a nice short article on the appreciative tutor. So again, this is the overview of the 7 steps to success. We hope you'll get registered. We hope you'll get placed early, start early, get placed early, and finish early is our theme for this semester. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and see if
a student had mentioned if there's going to be a link to the tutoring sessions.
Yeah,
good question, JP.
The link is on our website. And so you can go there and come right to those sessions. Any other questions?
Is there anything I should know about volunteering with schools that are not part of the CSUMB system? My professor already agreed that I could, but is there anything I should know about the process for counting these hours? It isn't tutoring. It is helping the teacher put projects together for her classes.
Perfect. Perfect. You know, the only thing is, as long as you're able to get the teacher or the school district to sign the learning agreement and to agree to have you there, we don't know what requirements they will have for you in terms of background checks, live scan, etc. So as long as somebody there is willing to sign off on the learning agreement and say that we're happy to have Sophia serving with us this semester and we understand all the implications of that, then we have no problem. But you will do that through what we call a short-term agreement. And those processes are on our website. I would recommend, Sophia, that you go through this training program. And when you finish the training program, you'll be able to check, thank you, I don't need a placement. I'll be working in a school in my own region or area, in which case we'll send you some information about how to facilitate the short-term agreement.
Yeah. And it's also a good opportunity for you to get, certificate and trained on what it is to be a mandated reporter.
Hallelujah. Do I hear?
Is there going to be a link to this PowerPoint, by the way? Yes, we will be having this PowerPoint on our website. So you go out to CSUMB, you type SLI on the search, you click on it, and it'll take you to the Service Learning homepage.
Right, and again, I'll do one more screen share and just to show you that if you go to the Service Learning Institute site and you, under students for spring 2021, if you start to scroll down, you will see resources and then the K-12 Remote Service Learning Tutoring Program. And right from there, you can be able to click on the 7 steps, and then that will take you right to the Google form to register. So, Jasmine, you're asking, after you finish the pre-service training, there'll be an opportunity to complete another Google form, which will tell us what your preferences are. And in that form, you can specify the district you want to work with, the school you might want to work with, the teacher you might want to work with, etc. Or you can say, I have, no preference, send me anywhere. But that can only happen after you finish the modules, the pre-service training. Then you submit that request. All right. If there are no other questions, well, thank you all. And you can find Renee or myself at the Service Learning Institute. We're happy to help orient you and get you connected to these service learning opportunities with K-12. And thank you, Dulce. Thank you, Clarissa. Thank you, everybody, for attending.